Hey guys, welcome back to my Animal Adventures YouTube channel. And if you've been watching my videos, you know I have a reptile show coming up in just a little bit over a week. I'm going to bring my ball python hatchlings there, set them up on display, and you guys can buy those hatchlings. And there's a few things I want to tell you about. First, I actually held back some of those ball python hatchlings, and I found out afterwards, I actually went through and probed them, and some of the ones I thought were males were actually females, and vice versa. So, and I know I kind of went through my whole rack and I showed you guys which ones were available, what the males and the females were, but then I started thinking, well, you know, I actually got some of my holdbacks wrong, and I started wondering, I wonder if I got some of the ones that I'm selling at the show wrong. So what I'm going to do today is actually go through all those hatchlings that I'm going to sell at the show, and we're going to probe them. You basically take a probe kit, and that's how you determine the males and the females for the ball python hatchlings. And I'm going to go through each one, and we're going to make sure, 100% sure, that I have the gender right. When I go to the show and you guys are buying the males and females, you're guaranteed and I'm not exactly sure why I got them wrong at first. The only thing I can think of is maybe the probe, the smallest probe that I had was a little too big. And sometimes if you use too big of a probe and you try to put it in the pocket of the tail of the snake, it won't go all the way in. It'll trick you into thinking you have a female instead of a male. So that's what I'm going to go through today. And there's a couple other things I want to tell you about. I've been kind of working on ways to improve my YouTube channel. And a lot of times in the past, I put out a lot of videos how to improve your thumbnails and your titles and a bunch of stuff like that. And I decided to actually take all of that content and split it off into a second YouTube channel, and I'm going to put the link below. It's YouTube Success Strategies. It's my new channel. I just put out 2 videos, and if you're interested in starting a YouTube channel and working to improve your YouTube channel, I would highly recommend going to that. And it's right now it's pretty informal. I just, you know, at the kitchen table in the morning, I just have a cup of coffee, and I'm just kind of shooting the breeze as far as, you know, the strategies and the techniques as far as improving your YouTube channel. I thought I'd break it off separate from my Animal Adventures channel, and this one has pretty much been dedicated to snakes. I think I'm just going to keep focusing on ball pythons, mainly on this channel, a little bit of reticulated pythons in there, and we'll kind of move forward that way. And another thing, I've been dabbling in affiliate marketing with Amazon, trying to generate a little more revenue so I can upgrade my camera equipment and my lighting and everything else. And as a matter of fact, I just qualified for an Amazon influencer. I'm a YouTube influencer according to Amazon, and I applied to their program, and they gave me a storefront on Amazon. I can actually add anything to that store. I'm going to put the link in the description below, and if you buy anything in the store, I actually get a small commission. And if you want something added to the store, maybe buy something on a regular basis, it won't cost you any more buying it in my store versus on Amazon, and I can add products. So that's kind of what's going on in the background here. I know there's a couple days this week where I actually skipped making a video. I was working on all this other stuff, trying to improve my homepage on my YouTube channel, trying to start the other channel, you know, trying to build this influencer program through Amazon. There's a lot of stuff going around in the background. But today I want to focus just on the ball pythons on this video, on this channel, and let's get started. Okay, so this is my snake probe kit, and this is what you use to determine the males and the females. And I'm going to use the smallest probe to make sure it actually goes all the way in so we know the males from the females. And what I do is I use this personal lubricating jelly. It's a water-soluble, water-based lubricant. And I just put a little bit on the probe, and I'm going to actually start with my Coral Glow, because I know all these Coral Glows for sure are males, because my Coral Glow male is actually a male maker, and he made all male babies, and I know the probes went really deep, so we can kind of get an idea of how far the probe goes in on this. So what you do is you put it right in the base of the tail in the pocket. And sometimes it's really extremely difficult, and sometimes it's real easy. It depends on if the snake relaxes, and it depends on if the snake starts running. So if you have one that's relaxed and not running, it's really easy to actually figure out the males and the females. And this one seems like he wants to run a little bit. And so you just put it right in the pocket of the tail. And it doesn't really hurt the snake. You just have to, sometimes you just have to hold them a little because they're a little freaked out. They're like, you know, I'm kind of freaking him out because I just pulled him out of the tub. He's not used to being handled. He's not really relaxed. And what you really need to do is you need to get the snake to the point where it's totally relaxed and they're not tightened up. That's another way you can actually make a mistake, is if they're really tense in the tail and it doesn't go in that far, it's because they're really tense. So you can see this is, you just barely put it in, and you can see right here, look at how far that goes. That is definitely a male. That went in pretty far. Okay, so between snakes, I kind of clean off the end of the probe and I put some more lubricating jelly on it. And I'm going to try this pinstripe. Supposedly this is a female. And I just want to really calm the snake down a little bit before we actually jump into probing it. And this one is, I would say it's a little more wild than some of my snakes. And you can tame a snake really fast. It's pretty amazing. It's just not used to being held that much. I have so many snakes down here, especially these hatchlings. They haven't really been held that much. So really what you do is you just need to hold them just for a little bit to kind of calm them down, and then they relax pretty easy, pretty fast. And let's see if we can actually probe this one and see if it's a male or a female. She's still really tense. Really what you need to do is you need to have the snake relax right in the tail. There she goes. Well, I don't know. Ooh, I made a mistake on that one. Oops, this is definitely a male. I made a mistake on this one. Alright, if you're looking for a male pinstripe, this is a male. Okay, so here's the next one. It is a bamboo. The only time I checked it was a female. And we'll see if this one is a female or not. And this one, it's only going just a little bit. That is definitely a female. So here is another bamboo, and it's interesting on these, you can actually, if you can see, it's turning a little bit pink, and usually the ball pythons will turn pink on the white areas right before they go into shed, before their eyes even start clouding up. It's kind of interesting. And we'll see on this one. Actually, I'll probe it and I'll show you the probe and I'll let you guess as far as if it's a male or a female. And we'll kind of see how far the probe goes in, and if you can figure out just by the depth of the probe if it's a male or a female. And you can really tell if the tail is really tight, it feels like a rock. And there, it's loosening up right there, and the probe is just going in just a hair right there. And sometimes I like to just kind of let the tail relax and kind of push it just a little bit more. This probe is only going in that far. What do you think? It is definitely a female. This is a female for sure. Alright, so this is a pastel bamboo. Really beautiful. You can tell it's the pastel because it has the lighter head. Plus from the breeding, I know it's a pastel. And it's interesting, the pastel bamboos typically have more patterns on the side as well. I think they're a little more stunning because they have more pattern on the side. It really depends on if you're looking for pastels in your bamboos and what you really plan to breed to the pastel bamboos. So let's take a look at this one, see if it's a male or a female. And this one is deciding to run on me. You can see it's kind of freaked out a little bit, which makes things a little bit tougher. Oh, look at that one. Look at that, how far that goes. That is definitely a male. So here's another pastel bamboo. Actually, so far out of all those snakes, I actually just had one of them wrong. That was the pinstripe. I thought it was a female. Turned out to be a male. So these are actually all coming out okay. And I would think that you wouldn't really go the other way if you're thinking make a mistake on the male because the probe doesn't go all the way in, but you really wouldn't make a mistake the other way where you'd think a female is actually a male. And this one, let's see. This one is definitely a male. And that's what I had it marked. It's a male. Alright, so I know some people had their eyes on this lesser ball python. It's really the only lesser that I had that hatched out just with a single lesser gene. I had some lesser bamboos that were pure white, but nothing like this. And this one I actually had marked as a female. Some people were kind of mentioning in the comments that they were interested in the lesser, and I definitely want to make sure that this is the right gender, and it's deciding to run. Alright, let's see. Easier said than done. I'm thinking I'm going to have to split this up into 2 videos and go through all these snakes. I have like almost 40 hatchlings there, and the way this is going, you can see sometimes this is not as easy as it seems, especially when they start running. And what you really have to do is just kind of ball them up and just kind of hold them. That's, ball pythons, this is their comfort zone right here. This is what really relaxes them. You put them in a tub, you put them in a small, tight, dark spot, and this is home for a ball python. So this is how you kind of hypnotize them, I guess. So some people actually, when they're doing this, they'll actually put the front part of the snake in like a snake bag or something like that to kind of hide the head. But I tried that, and it seemed like it was really frustrating trying to do that. It wasn't really as easy as this. And this one's still kind of giving me some problems. And sometimes this can take a long time, and sometimes it's really easy. It just really depends on the snake and your technique. And this one, some of this I cut off the camera because sometimes it'll take me a minute or two to actually do it, and I'm kind of leaving the footage in this time. You can see this one is, actually, I think this one is a male. This is a male. Alright, I actually had this marked as a female. I made another mistake. Oh my goodness, this is really interesting. Makes me nervous about all my hatchlings. I'm definitely going to have to go through and change all these labels. Alright, so there you have it. Couple mistakes, hard lesson learned. It looks like if you're probing brand new ball python hatchlings, the probe kit doesn't always work. Maybe the probe just doesn't go small enough for new hatchlings. So if you're hatching out ball pythons, definitely do probes like a month or 2 after they're born, before you hit the show. And if you bought one of my snakes and you're not sure if it's a male or female based on this, we could actually have a mistake. And if you bring it to the show, I'll definitely probe it for you. The show is only a week away. I'm really excited to go to the show. I hope to see you there, and I will see you next time.